All right, so we're going to talk about the fins that I like to use and have used in the past. First off, we'll start with this Molchanovs silicone bifins. Love these things for the pool, so I'm not worried about scraping up longer fins. Also, if I'm just doing some snorkeling or going somewhere warm where I don't have to wear a wetsuit and a bunch of weights, these are great. They give you a surprising amount of power for such a small fin, but it is a small fin, so it has its uses. From there, I've used the Molchanovs fiberglass. I love the Molchanovs blades. The fiberglass, again, they just don't have as much reactivity, as much snap as the carbons. They are good for the pool, but I decided to go with the Molchanovs carbons. So I weigh about 190, and I use the mediums, and they work great for me. I think that the soft and medium in Molchanovs is pretty accurate. Those are pretty accurate descriptions of them. And so softer, I would, if somebody is like smaller and they don't weigh as much, a soft blade will do well for them, whereas the medium is great for a medium to larger size person. Pretty amazing how much snap these things have in them, and also how effortless they feel when you're kicking through the water. I think Nathan and I thought something was wrong with these when we started testing them, because the way that our legs felt, it felt like there's no way we could be moving, but we were. So super impressed with these. And a big part of that is their foot pocket. One, they barely have any rails, so they're really allowing the blade to do all the work. Two, the way that you mount the blade, it's super easy to take in and out, and it's also machine screw. No matter how many times you put it in and out, it's not gonna strip anything, whereas a lot of your standard foot pockets like this, you're just drilling into a piece of plastic over and over, which eventually isn't gonna hold. But the main thing with these foot pockets, they have arch support and they fit really snug to your foot, so you just have a ton of control with them. With standard foot pockets, basically the tighter the foot pocket is on your foot, the better energy transfer you're gonna get. And so you can get that by either just going smaller or have something like this where you have more of the foot pocket in contact with your foot because of the design of it, not necessarily because of how tightly it's cinched down on your foot. Also with the silicone material, they are going to stretch a little bit more than these kind of like rigid foot pockets. So if you're getting one of these and you sort of fit in a larger size and sort of fit in a smaller size, I would get the one that's a little bit smaller. It will break in a bit. So I honestly use these fins for everything now, teaching, training, spearfishing. For a long time, I was using the Kevlar blades and absolutely love these things. As you saw in our fin test, they are a little bit stiffer, but one of the big reasons for that is because they're paired up with these long railed foot pockets. That's the thing. These Kevlars have a 3-year warranty. It's pretty much no questions asked. But the only question is, what kind of foot pocket were you using? If you weren't using something like this, but more of something like this with a shorter rail, your warranty is voided. So I do think those fins would feel quite a bit better with something like this, but then you void your warranty. However, these things have absolutely, we've brutalized them, and they hold up so well. They've got Kevlar in the weave and just a really, really solid, rock solid performing blade. So can't say enough about these. We got some of their shorter versions like this. I found them to be a little bit stiffer than what I like. They're the same softness as these longer ones. But again, if you look, when you put this foot pocket on it, the rail's going about halfway down the blade and really stiffening up. Whereas on the longer ones, you have the end of that blade that isn't being stiffened up. And so that's what can really flex. Whereas this one, almost the whole thing is getting loaded. They are more maneuverable. They're a lot of fun. Again, if I was gonna get one of these, I would wanna have it with a foot pocket like this, just to get some more flex out of the blade. But that's what I've used. You really can't go wrong with any of those. One fin that I haven't actually used is the Leaderfin fiberglass. That's one of the most popular ones that we sell. And I think it's great for getting into the sport. the amount of performance and the amount of comfort that you get going up from a plastic blade is incredible for the price difference especially. So now I'm using the fancy fins, but I did start off with the plastics just like most people. Used those for years, had to upgrade, got some carbon fiber fins when I started teaching and ended up losing one fin. And so for a couple classes I had to use the plastics again. And I couldn't believe how terrible it felt. My hip flexors, my ankles, everything was just killing me. So I am soft, I'm a princess now. But if your only experience is with plastic fins, do yourself a favor and just try somebody's fiberglass fins. Is a world of difference. So in practical use application, I think these dive bars are incredible for spearfishing. So some of the pros and cons I found with these fins for travel. I love the dive bars. I'm less worried about them when I travel because they've got that Kevlar in them, but they're so long. They're even harder to fit into a bag. And so the Molchanovs ones, a little bit shorter, and you can take that foot pocket off so easily. So honestly, these Molchanovs carbons have just become my do everything fin, and they haven't let me down yet. So the dive bars, incredible performing fin, but I would say one of the biggest things with these, they are pricey. I believe they're worth it. One, with the Kevlar weave that you have in the carbon, it makes them just as indestructible as a freediving fin can get. And with their warranty, if you are diving off the rocks, doing a lot of heavy duty stuff and you're just tough on your gear, with another fin, probably likely that you're gonna break it, whereas this one can stand up to just ridiculous amounts of abuse. And if you do go too far and you end up somehow breaking these, you've got that warranty to fall back on. So yes, expensive out the gates, but if you're using them a lot and you're tough on your gear, it's definitely worth it. All right. Bueno.